Quite a lot more will surface as we go on until 9 o'clock this morning. Let's just tell you a little bit more about Mpumalanga. I suppose, it's if you live in the province, you know a lot about it. But when you don't live in the province, I suppose that's when you need to know more. So let me just give you a little bit of a synopsis. Mpumalanga is situated in the middle veld. It's bordered by Mozambique and Swaziland. In total, Mpumalanga occupies about 76,000 square meters, if there are square kilometers, not meters, kilometers. So that can give you an idea of how big it is. During the 2011 census, Mpumalanga's population stood at around about 4 million people, or 7.8% of South Africa's total population. So that's how many people are living here in this particular area, and it also contributes 2.3% to the country's GDP. Now let's look at the political history of this party. This particular part of South Africa, it is an ANC stronghold. It has been since the dawn of democracy in 1994. There are 30 members in the Mpumalanga legislature. 27 of them are from the ANC. So you can see that is a major majority that the ANC has. 27 seats, and if we break it down, COPE has 1 seat and the DA has 2 seats in this municipality. So quite interesting to see, and it's just gained strength over the years. In 1994, it got 25 seats. In 1999, it got 26 seats. And then in the 2004 and 2009 elections, 27 seats respectively. So you can see there's been a gradual increase. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this particular election when everybody goes to the polls next week. So that's giving you an idea of the politics and the history of this particular area. Now, as we've been uncovering some of the things that are happening here in Mpumalanga and some of the problems associated by the community, we really do need to focus more on farming. We showed a good news farming story in the previous hour in Hazy View when it came to a banana farm. But human rights abuses, unfortunately, seem to be rife in this particular area. And some of the farm dwellers really do live in awful conditions, despite the country celebrating 20 years of democracy. So human rights abuses, as I say, rife in the area. Piet Retief is one area where farm dwellers and workers suffer in the hands of the farm owners. We've compiled an insert to delve a little deeper into that story.
A family in distress. About 2 years ago, the Hatebe family was evicted from their ancestral land. No alternative accommodation was provided as per the laws of the country. A community hall is now the only shelter for the family of 37. Without access to land, they struggled to make a living. They had relied on farming for food and income.
What he said is that people come here to encourage us to vote. We are asking ourselves, why must we vote?
The family still doesn't know why it was evicted from the Dongerhoek farm. The matter has since been reported to the police. The local municipality says plans are afoot to find alternative land for the family. The move will have no bearing on the court case.
With the Department of Land Affairs, we are trying to get them an alternative land where they can be accommodated. And we are hopeful that we are going to give them an alternative land.
Despite the alleged abuse of farm workers and dwellers in the area, some farmers are sharing their land with their workers. Amongst them is Colin Forbes, who has given a portion of his farm to the workers.
It's not right that only some people progress and others are left behind. So the people best placed to benefit from mentorship are the very workers on the farm. So we've had an area of 560 hectares where the people are doing their own farming, and the most important part of that is the 60-hectare land, agricultural land, where we're now in our 3rd year of having the people doing their own planting there.
There are a lot of benefits we're getting from this farm. The farm owner helps us with almost everything. He's a doctor by profession, so he treats us for free.
Forbes believes his approach can help address land distribution problems and bring about harmony between farmers and their workers. But the question remains, how many farmers are prepared to take this route? Moili Maslela for SABC News in Piet Retief, Mpumalanga.
All right, well, there you go. That's just giving you a little bit more in-depth stories of the situation that some of the farm workers find themselves in the province of Mpumalanga. And I'm sure, again, not an isolated case. I think that throughout South Africa, at all the different provinces, this could be one of the issues that certainly should be highlighted during our broadcasts and has. Now, last year, you will remember that Mpumalanga municipality was actually placed under provisional administration for 6 months. This was due to the municipality's underperformance. The provincial government, I'm going to read what they found, was that the municipality faced challenges of inconsistent water supply, poor roads, and wastewater treatment plants infrastructure, as well as corruption by the government officials. So this area we are standing in was placed under provisional administration. To tell us more about this, we are joined by Leslie Ntuli, who is a community leader in this particular area. Good to have you on the show, Leslie. Welcome to Morning Live.
Yeah, thanks, Leon, and thanks to your viewers.
All right. So it was placed under administration. It's a massive story, and it was very embarrassing for the province for something like that to happen. Since then, have things changed?
Yeah, firstly, let's start from, it was firstly placed under Section 106 of the Systems Act, whereby the province intervened and conducted some investigation. And as a result of those investigations, a lot of resignations took place. You ended up having your key positions. Your municipal manager was dismissed. You had an acting municipal manager. You had an acting director infrastructure basic services. You had the acting director human resource. You had an acting director chief finance. And obviously you had a Hollywood. That created a problem. At the same time, the mayor was recalled. Then you operated with an interim mayor or an acting mayor and an acting administration as a whole. Yeah. And that in itself made the municipality ungovernable, not to work properly. And then later a new mayor came in. When the new mayor came in, she had to operate with these interim structures or these acting positions, this Hollywood. And the first thing she had to do was to appoint a municipal manager. A municipal manager was appointed, and as the municipal manager was appointed, there was a serious confrontation between the trade unions and the municipal manager. For 8 months, there was no service delivery, no refuse collection, water interruptions became an order of the day, your electricity interruption became an order of the day. Then the municipality was placed under administration in terms of Section 139B. Whereby an administrator was put in place to come and address the very serious problem, the very serious financial problems. I heard the stats that you mentioned in terms of the population here. And obviously in terms of the population, you might find that the municipality had the 87.7 payment, but there are people who are not paying, people in the shacks, people who are not in the data, people are not registered, which hampers the movement of the municipality. And since the administration came, there is some glimmer of hope in terms of your refuse removal, because sometimes a refuse could not be collected for a month in a particular area.
And now? How often is refuse collected?
Now there's a massive improvement in terms of refuse removal. In terms of water interruptions, they are in a minimal scale. There's a vast improvement on water interruptions, because now we are able, if there's no water in a particular area, within 4 hours or 2 hours, we are able to get water.
The nice thing about what you're saying is that we actually have a lot of the community members standing behind you. So as soon as we finish this interview, I can ask them, which is very important because they are the voice of the community, as are you, but I'd like to hear from them if they are as satisfied and this picture is as good as what you're saying it is right now. So we've spoken about refuse removal, we've spoken about water. What about other issues? What are the other issues that need to be seen to?
It's a problem. It is the question of potholes,
that's a big problem,
a national problem. And
it's a national problem, but I must say this is one of the worst I've ever seen.
There's a snail pace in terms of everyone can ask. Every community member will tell you about potholes, which is a serious problem. The other problem that people also talk about, which is not in the public arena, our cemeteries are not in good shape. And they need to be attended to, because they've raised the problem even with the premier that these cemeteries need to be cleaned, they need to be respected. It's another area that needed to be looked at. Roads, as I said, it's a serious problem. That's why sometimes people call us a capital city of potholes.
Yeah, I can see that. That is one thing that I really have experienced, and I mean it's unacceptable. It's one of the worst I've ever seen in the country. What about the sewage issue? The sewage problems also seem to have been one of those issues that were highlighted here.
Yeah, the sewage issue was also a problem because you jump every 3 streets to find that there's water running down. There's a wastage of water. There's the sewage each and every area. And as such, what I have noticed that in terms of the intervention strategy in itself, I must give it credit to say that to the very least, if the problems are not 100% attended, but at least they're being attended to.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap my interview. The community members are coming in here, and as they make their way to us so that we can chat to them. The elections are around the corner. What's the feeling amongst people? Because what you're explaining to me are basic services that every community should be receiving, and yet they're not being received here. Amongst the people, what are they feeling ahead of the elections?
By any standard, the mood is very low in this particular area. But yesterday, we saw it was day before yesterday on Sunday, there was a massive campaign from political parties. The only advantage in this area, there's political stability.
Yeah.
There's no political intolerance. But the mood is not as high as we know it. Remember, Mpumalanga is the hub of the economy of this particular area.
Yeah.
Everything starts here. But now we hope that on the 7th, people will go in their numbers. But now people are despondent, they're in despair in terms of what is happening. But nevertheless, there is a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for talking to us, Leslie. As I say, the community's here. They're too shy to come in. I keep calling them in. Please come and talk to us. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on the program. We're just talking and uncovering some of the issues that the residents go through here, from sewerage to water to sanitation to the potholes to some of those issues that need to be sorted out. For you, what would you say is it like living here?
I can say kumnandi ukuhlala eMalahleni, but as umphakathi and the community and youth, mina ngolilekela dwakashoba sibhizi nge-environment, and ngingathanda kakhulu ukuthi basichase njengoba sibhizi ngama-illegal dumping spots wathena kuma-park. We think we need ukuthi as a community sibe come together sibambisane ukuthi sikline eMalahleni, because eMalahleni idoti kakhulu. As siyacela ukuthi umphakathi waseMalahleni sisukumeni sibambisaneni sisebenzeni, eMalahleni izoba clean.
Basically telling people to stand together. It's a very dirty community. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be fixed. These are some of the issues that you're raising, like this park. I mean, you had two youngsters that came through and changed this, and now this is a cleaner area to be in, just here. But you're saying the rest of the areas, it's a problem.
Yes, the whole of eMalahleni, I think as a youth of eMalahleni, we need to come together and clean eMalahleni, because we are one of those who adopted these guys who are busy here. So we did mobilize this guy. So we need to come together as a youth of eMalahleni and clean eMalahleni.
Thank you. Sir, do you have something to say? How do you feel about the community? What are some of the problems or the issues that you face here?
There are many issues, ma'am. The thing I want to talk about is our land. I need my land back. You know, last time we went to talk to the Premier in White River. The Premier doesn't want to come and see us. It's from 2009. I think it's last month. He says to the Morning Live, his door is open. Everybody must come and see him. But when we phone him, they don't want to answer us. The problem is our Premier. Now, because we must go to vote, the coming week we are going to vote, but they are going door to door asking for our vote. Our town here is very much dirty. You can go downtown now here in Witbank. It's very dirty.
The Premier was meant to join us this morning, but I believe he cancelled this morning and he couldn't make it. So that is a problem. We want to speak to the Premier. We've invited him, but he also doesn't seem to be wanting to speak to us. I know that you have a problem. Please, ma'am, if you don't mind coming and standing over here with us, turn around. Talk to me. What are the issues that you're feeling?
First of all, I'm Brenda Maluka.
Nice to meet you, Brenda.
Yes. Pollution. the whole family we are suffering of sinusitis.
Yeah.
I don't think the municipality of here, they are doing something else. But another thing that is a burning issue, I'm not surprised if the Premier is not here, David Mabuza. Number one, he doesn't answer the telephone.
Yeah.
He was on Morning Live saying his door is open. We make an appointment. The secretary, they will move you from left to right. They'll never do anything. Even you go to the hotline of President Zuma, our president, they don't attend to your issues. Like from last year in May, we raised our issue. Up to today, our issue is not being resolved. Because our problem still is the land in White River. Yeah. The Premier and his cronies, they want that land, and then they together with Mutla said, they are busy giving us many stories that you cannot get this land because you are from township. I don't know what the Land Act says. With David Mabuza, I don't know how many times. In times of Makwetla, we did ask them, people who want to see you, were pushed away. It's now David, he doesn't even want to answer. He doesn't answer the telephone. I'm having his telephone now. You'll see he doesn't answer the telephone. Mutla said he's new from Mpumalanga, is under public works. Our land is under public works. So they'll give you so many stories. They say that rather they are tenants that belongs to the government. There are a lot of Makwerekwere staying in our land. They are not South African, but they are being given that privilege. We the owner. So Zuma, Titi, I think it's time that they must step down. We are sick and tired of them.
All right.
We want
Okay.
our land.
Okay. I can see there's so many more issues, but I'm being told that we need to go back to Johannesburg. We need to get the news headlines, and we will try. And actually, my producer's telling me that the Premier didn't cancel. Promise, what was the story? Please tell me. He didn't confirm. We did invite him. He didn't confirm his attendance. So he didn't actually cancel us this morning. He just never ever responded to our request for him to be here today. So that's just to set the record straight there for the Premier. The issue of drugs. There's so many more. I hope we get more time to talk to the community. Promise me we're going to do that, because these people want to talk to us. Let's get some news headlines to you, and then we'll come back to us here.